I'm back after work to check on this job. The first thing I've done is put the filter onto backwash. Now I'm going to go look at it for the first time since earlier today. Still a lot of food that I still need to scoop out. Still another fish that has gone. The other fish are looking much better. Now that the filter's running, the fish that are in here are all swimming around. Whereas last time I was here, look, they're actually feeding on the bottom. They're all swimming around. When I came last time, they were all just at the surface, gasping. So the behavior of the fish has drastically increased. So if I hadn't have come today, I'm pretty much going to say that all the fish would have been dead. So we've lost one more. And though I scooped out a whole lot of food earlier, there's still plenty of food, and this is off now. So the auto feeder should no longer be feeding, because what was happening is because the water quality was bad, the fish were not eating, but the feeder kept on feeding. So it's excess food. Anyway, so we've got a dramatic improvement. The fish are looking 1,000 times better. A little tip that saved me lots of times. I've come to this job and I'm backwashing the filter, which means I've turned that level back to backwash. And it's so easy when you're playing around with a pond or something, particularly one that's got a auto top up on it. When you finish the job, it's so easy to just leave and forget that that's backwashing. So one thing that's saved me more times than I like to admit is you put your keys on the thing that you've got to remember, because it's much harder to drive off and forget that you're backwashing the filter if you haven't got your keys. So those keys there will remind me just to switch it back to running, and that way there's basically no way of me forgetting. And if I did forget, that would be a big problem. So I've got the system backwashing now, and I'm basically going and just trying to scoop uneaten fish food, leaves, and anything else out of the water. And the auto top-up system has ignited. So what I need to do now is every now and then I need to add a bit of water ager, because I don't want to chlorine flush the pond. So now I want to get out any uneaten food so that doesn't get an opportunity to rot. So this is a very fresh problem. It's mainly due to it's been such a hot day today for why this was a problem so fast. I think that this problem of the filter clogging up probably only happened today or this morning or last night, because this food is hardly even broken down. So I don't think it's been in here for a long time. And the water quality in here doesn't have ammonia and nitrite yet. So what I actually want to do is make sure I remove any dead fish. I want to remove any uneaten food, because I don't want to lose any more fish. Because what's going to happen now is if I don't do this, then uneaten food, any dead fish, all these rotting leaves, they can cause ammonia in the water. And I definitely don't want ammonia in the water after such a stressful circumstance as the filter being out during a super hot day. So it was very hot here in Sydney today, and the hot day means the oxygen levels in the water fall really fast, because one of the main things that sets dissolved oxygen is temperature. High temperature holds less oxygen in solution, and if you've got less oxygen in solution, you're going to have more redox problems, and everything's going to be a problem. The thing that I was quite worried about with this job is the filter hasn't been on for a while, so therefore it's possible, depending on how long the filter was on, that hydrogen sulfide can build up in the filter, and that's actually poisonous. So what I've done is I've put some polyfilter here. Now polyfilter is bright white, but it's already gone like a brown, and it's only been there for a few hours. So that's been sucking a lot of crap out of the water, because polyfilter is amazing stuff. It adsorbs and absorbs anything impure out of the water and is really effective at removing hydrogen sulfide. So that's why I've added that. So the fish are actually looking really great, considering how they were looking before. And so that means we've definitely avoided any hydrogen sulfide issues, because I find that polyfilter is a very good way of removing hydrogen sulfide. Because anytime you've had a filter off for a while and all the bacteria has been starved of oxygen, then what can happen is hydrogen sulfide can be released when the filter goes back on. It can kill your fish. And it's actually poisonous to you too, so be careful. Now, because I've got water going into the pond from the auto top-up, it's really important that I add some water ager, sort of every 20 minutes or so. So that's just a little bit of a sprinkle. This stuff's super powerful, so you don't actually need to get much in there. Now this stuff is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to get rid of any chlorine or chloramine, which this tap's going to bring in. But it's also going to help to detoxify any ammonia or nitrite which will be created after this situation, particularly of not having the filter on and all this excess food. The fish are really looking better. This is a massive improvement on this morning. If I hadn't have come today, I reckon most of these fish would be dead. Now what I'm going to do in this pond is add some water cleanser. So these are little hydrocarbon balls. And what these little hydrocarbon balls do is encourage the growth of what's called oil-eating organisms, OEMs. And these organisms are not really naturally occurring in something like a fish pond, but they're actually pretty much microscopic, unbelievable scavengers. So what these things do is come alive in your pond, and then they'll feed off all your organics and all your nutrients, and really help to biologically polish the environment. But they're only going to last for sort of 3 months or 4 months or 5 months or whatever they last for, according to the amount of food they've got. Because in the wild, these come alive and they bloom with the presence of oil. So the hydrocarbon is mimicking the oil to make these things come alive, and then they're going to feed off all your nutrients. So it's a really great thing to put in your pond, even if it be every year or so. It's completely safe. There's absolutely no downside to it, but it does really help to physically clean the pond. So if we just scatter them around, and they actually, so they're like a little ball, and they actually don't break down. They just end up running out of hydrocarbon, and then you just want to either chuck them out, or you can leave them there and put some new ones in when you want to go through and polish your pond again. I find that they're actually really good, but it is one of those things where in some ponds I seem to see better results than other ponds, which is the case with anything that's biological, because there can be various variables that are not clear to us.